All right, there we go. Test. Okay, here we go. Quiz review. All right, number one, coterminal angles. Coterminal angles are how far apart? 360. Let me zoom in for you blind people. So, coterminal angles are 360 apart, so we add 360 to this. So we get 703. And then we take 343 minus 360, and we get negative 17. Are we good with that? Are these coterminal? Well, to figure it out, we subtract them. We take 312.5 minus a negative 407.5. Minus a negative is plus a positive. We get 0. We get 0. We get 2. And we get 7. They're 720 degrees apart. Are they 360 degrees apart? No. But they're a multiple of 360 degrees apart. So 360, 720, 1080. If they're that far apart, yes, they are coterminal. If they're not 360 or 720 or 1080 apart, then no, they're not coterminal. Are we good there? Okay, what quadrant is this in? You draw a little quadrant. You go 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Okay? And then from there, you go, well, 130 is somewhere in between 90 and 180, so we must be in quadrant 2. That's 2 capital letter I's. If you put L's down, you'll get it wrong. Okay? We good? 2 capital I's. All right. So the next one, 37 degrees, and then it's 3 divided by 60, because 3 minutes is how much of a degree? Well, it's a minute is 1/60th of a degree, so if it's 3, it's 3/60ths of a degree, or 37 point, I don't know, what's 3 divided by 60? 0.05? 37.05. Converting to degrees, minutes, seconds. Now, this is from minutes to degrees. Now we're going from degrees to minutes, opposite. So if we divide it by 60 here, we're going to multiply by 60 here. So you start out with your negative 49, that goes here. Okay? Then you take 0.702 times 60. And you get 42.12. So the 42 goes in here, and you take the 0.12 and multiply that times 60, and you get what, 72? 7.2, yeah. And then you you round to the nearest whole number, which is 7. So that's 49 degrees, 42 minutes, and 7 seconds, 49.702. Okay. Converting from degrees to radians, times pi over 180. But on your calculator, you don't put in the pi. On your calculator, you make that fancy little fraction doo-woppy, and you go 210 over 180, and your calculator should say, well, I know that that is 7 over 6. So then you type in 7 pi over 6. Remember your pi, you just don't put the pi in your calculator. Okay, are we all right with that? Do the same thing, 300 times pi over 180, and we get 30 over 18, which is 5 over 3. So 5 pi over 3. Converting the other way, then we multiply by 180 over pi. If you're going to degrees, your pi's cancel. So you take on 11 times 180 divided by 15. I'm not very good at math, so it's something like 262. I don't know what it is. No, it's not even. It's less than 180. I don't know what it is. Help me out. 132. All right, now we're going to go the opposite way again and go to radians, but I want it as an integer or decimal, so this is where you actually put pi into your calculator. So multiply by pi over 180. What'd you get?
1.1798.
Round to the nearest thousand, so 180. Okay, this one is one of the most missed questions on the test because you guys forget how to work with fractions. Okay, what you have to do is add 2 pi onto this because we're dealing with radians, and coterminal angles are 360 degrees apart. Well, 360 degrees apart are 2 pi apart. Okay, so you're going to add 2 pi to that. Okay, well, 2 pi is what over 6? 12 pi over 6. Because this has to be twice as big as that. Okay, so you get 17 pi over 6, and then you take 17 pi over 6, and you add 12 pi over 6 to that, and you get 29 pi over 6. And since it's multiple choice, you look over here and you say, oh, yeah, it's going to be that one. 11 pi over 6 is not 2 pi apart, so you cannot use C. What quadrant is this in? Well, if I were you, I would change it. If I were you, I would change it to degrees. How do we change from radians to degrees? You multiply by 180 over pi. The pi's cancel. 180 goes into 5 36 times. 8 times 36 is a 4, and it's a 254, something like that. I don't know. No, 284? 288. Boy, I'm bad at math. 288. So 288 is bigger than 270 because 270 is down here, 360 is here. So we must be in quadrant 4. Okay? I took it times 180 over pi. So the pi's cancel. Oh, yeah. So 8/5 times 180 because the pi's cancel, right? And if you take 8/5 times 180, you should get 288, hopefully. All right. Find the arc length. Is this in radians or degrees? Is 4.5 in radians or degrees? Radians. The Jesus fish kind of lets you know it's probably radians. And then since there's no degree symbol on there, it's radians. So you take the radians times the radius. You just multiply those two numbers together. And if we round to the nearest tenth, what do we get? 499.5 inches. Now, in this one, we're looking for the radius, and we're given the arc length. So 100 equals, and since this is in degrees, we use the geometry formula. 140 over 360 times 2 pi r. My first thing I'll do is I'll multiply by 360 to get rid of the 360. So I get 36,000 equals 140 times 2 times pi, or 280 pi r. So next I'll divide by 280. Whatever that is, pi r equals whatever 36,000 divided by 280 is. 128.6, and then I'll divide each side by pi. Don't divide by 280 pi without using parentheses, or else you'll get this wrong. So 128.6 divided by pi is around 40, a little less than 40 probably. What is it? Just 4? Oh. 9.2 or 9.3? 40.93, rounded to the nearest hundredth. Okay. Sector area. Is this in radians or degrees? Radians. So you have to use the trig formula. Your angle, pi over 5, times your radius squared, 20 squared, divided by 2. Or pi over 5 times 400 divided by 2. Well, 5 goes into 400 80 times, and 80 goes into 2 40 times. So you get 40 pi. It wants an exact answer using pi. So do not put pi in your calculator if you need to use your calculator on that. Okay. Radians and radians cancel. Minutes and minutes cancel. So now you have revolutions per hour. Okay, revolutions per hour. So 10 times 60 is 600 divided by 2 pi, which is 300 divided by pi, which is, I don't know. So 95.5, rounded to the nearest tenth. A windmill for generating electricity has a blade 30 feet long. Depending on the wind, it rotates at various velocities. Find the angular velocity of the tip of the blade. We don't have to worry about the 30 feet long because it's just angular velocity. So we just worry about the 55 revolutions per second times 2 pi radians per revolution. The revolutions cancel, so 55 times 2 pi is 110 pi, which is rounded to the nearest tenth. 110 times pi is 300 and 110 times pi is 300 and 345.6 radians per second. Then we have the saw blade problem, which is 3150 revolutions per minute times 2 pi revolutions or radians per 1 revolution. Revolutions cancel. Times, if it's a 15-inch diameter, it's a 7.5-inch radius. So radians cancel. Times, okay, now we have inches per minute, and we want miles per hour. So there are 12 inches in 1 foot. There's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So you multiply across the top, then you divide by 12 and divide by 5280. And you get radians per second, whatever that is. And that, oh, we're not done. I don't care what the answer of that one is. Let's do the printing press roller problem, okay? The speed at the roller is 52 feet per second. And we want radians per second. So I know the radius is 8.5, but this is in feet. So I first have to change feet to inches. So I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So feet cancel. And then the radius by one radius is 8.5 inches. Inches and inches cancel. So 52 times 12 and then divided by 8.5. 52 times 12 divided by 8.5. Radians per second. Okay, so all we're going to do this period is take the quiz. So for those of you who haven't taken the sample quiz yet, if you want to take the sample quiz once first before you take the quiz, that might be a good idea. For those of you who are all sample quizzed out and just say, I want to just take the quiz, you can take the quiz. I will put the quiz out there. But either take the sample quiz or take the quiz. But the quiz has to be taken before the end of the period. So make sure you get the quiz taken today before the end of the period.
How can I take the sample quiz?
It is out there. It's been out there for the last few days.